Oh wow, hello, look, living in Boulder vlog, it's me. I'm doing a video. I think I'm gonna try to do more videos, unless my computer breaks and I can't do it anymore, and then I'll give up. My last false start with doing the videos was I think in March when I tried to do videos, but then that day, the day that I did the video, the computer broke. Apple replaced the computer. They said it'd take 2 weeks, but it only took a week. But by then I was already working on Google Earth stuff again. So let's see if this works. Let's do a prayer. Please, computer, work. Okay, so that's my prayer. If it doesn't work, then it ain't my fault. Okay, so I'm going to keep the thing up to make sure that if it goes away, I know, even though it's kind of distracting to talk to myself. All right, so I'm going to do vlogs again. Just a second, I got to be back. My most important implement somehow is not Here, let me tell you to say hello to my little friend. That's my favorite implement. Because with this implement, you can scoop the weed out of the thing and put it into the thing. So let's do some living in Boulder vlog, and then I think I'll do a bunch of talking. The reason that I'm going to do this is because I think that I have the time for it. Let's take a hit real quick as I talk to myself. That's why I'm looking down below and not actually at the camera. Like that would be me talking to people, but that's me talking to below because I'm actually talking to myself. Now this thing's going to stop recording for some reason after like 5 minutes. I don't know why, but at least it saves. So I'll just piece it together after and then just keep making new videos. Unfortunately, sometimes every time I do a video, it only records for less time each time until it only does it for like 5 seconds, and then I have to call tech support. So we'll see what happens. I'm using QuickTime Player movie recording on my $3,500 Apple MacBook Pro. That's what they said anyway. It was valued at. But then I called them, hey, what's it worth? They're like, I don't know, 1,800. But I paid $2,500 for it. But they gave me a new one. This one's only from March. So, and I'm still on tech support, and I can call them whenever and stuff. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of questions I have, but I don't have the time to ask them. All right, yeah, so now I kind of feel like, woo, it's time to do videos again. Let me explain to you my relationship with YouTube, because I treat YouTube for me as kind of like the same way as I would treat one of my web pages on my website. It's just something that I'm either interested in or I'm not interested in. And only with YouTube, it's kind of like something that I would intermix with the website. It's kind of different because I wouldn't just get obsessed with YouTube and do YouTube 18 hours a day. That'd be cool, but I've never done that, and I don't do that. So it's something that I would just do intermittently. I didn't. One reason I wasn't doing YouTube so much is because as I talk to myself, I can't really see myself. Here, let's do that. Okay. One reason I haven't really been doing YouTube so much is because, oh my God, I had my thought, but then I took the glasses off. I'm just, well, whatever. I totally lost that thought because I'm getting high. So let's just change the subject. And then if I come back, I come back. When I smoke this much weed, I have to be really careful. Like once I get going on a thought and I'm writing a thought, like don't move anything. Like if I'm talking and I have my glasses on, like don't take the fucking glasses off in the middle of a thought, or you're gonna lose your train of thought. So let's keep the glasses off. So yeah. So oh yeah, one reason I haven't been doing the YouTube is because I thought that in order to do the YouTube, I'd have to I'm getting like fat. I'd have to like fix my video page on my web page on my website, and oh my God, like I don't want to go there because I'm working on so many other things, and, so but I can do videos without having that, supplement that. That's just how I changed now. So I'll do like requests and then like talk about stuff that I think about. Only I'll do it with the stoner way because I'm still smoking a lot of weed. So let me tell you what I'm up to. Today I am, those were the critters. Those are squirrels running on my roof. I have to have the people remove them, but they have to find out where they're coming in the big building I'm living in. So I'm right now today I'm tracing Colorado ski resorts, and I'm getting really into it because I'm really high. Like today I had the new idea, like you would trace all of the lifts on the ski resort, and then you would trace all of the runs on the ski resort, and then you would put like a canvas over it, and then you could see it like three-dimensionally, the whole mountain and how big it is, and then you could do like a panorama over it from a fixed altitude above the land, and then you could do if you look at all those next to the ski resorts in sequence, that type of video, you could see how big they are next to it compared to each other. My power cable for my computer somehow came out. But also just to look at it and look at the mountain and how they utilize the mountain with all the lifts and the runs. You can get into the mind of the people who designed it and be like, wow, they used up the whole mountain. That's so cool. And you can see it from a long ways away. Like ski resorts are big in relation to the state, and they take up the whole mountain. And it kind of makes you, when you study Colorado and all of the ski resorts and like that, it makes you an environmentalist because then you notice all the defunct ski resorts, and it's like all these runs they used to use that they don't use anymore, and now it's all scarred, So instead of somebody like wanting to build a new ski resort, why not just revamp the one that they already scarred up the land on? That kind of stuff. Like if you know exactly where all of the mountain lions and bears live, there's like 70 mountain lions in Boulder County. Once the numbers start to dwindle because of development in the mountains, then everybody's already monitoring it, then they'd already know how they're dwindling, and we'd all know if we want to protect the mountain lions, which I'm sure we would. So it's good for the environment to be aware of your surroundings. And Colorado's got amazing surroundings with all the ski resorts and the hot springs and the mountains and the trips and the trails and the lakes and all that, rivers, and so forests and animals. And so yeah, I just want to delve into it. Nobody's doing it, but as I work on it, because my project's so big, it takes me a long time. I get really freaked out that somebody else is going to do it and be done with theirs before I'm done. Because I'm doing so many different things. It'd suck if lots of different people got ready with what they were working on before I was ready with my website. And so nothing on my website is original because people already did it because I took so freaking long. That's my nightmare. But it's not a big nightmare. It's just the one stress in my life. But yeah, but I think I'll be done by the end of 2017, not 2016. I think I'd said in my last video 2 months ago I'd be done by 2016, but and I think I said like maybe I'd be done with the Google Earth stuff, and so then I could scuttle everything else. But I'm not going to do that. I can't do that. So I might be done by like Google Earth stuff by the end of this year, but then I'll want to go and finish all the other stuff that I did, that I have started on my website. And, it'd probably take a good, healthy other year to do that. So, but if I worked for a whole nother year until the end of 2017, I could finish all that. And then I could get going on my next phase in life, which is where I implement my website. And I do it where I'm listening to the audiobooks and riding my bike and stuff all day long. Well, I want to be like endurance athlete, so whatever I can do, on that given day physically. So, and then you come home and you do the audio, the vlog about your book you learned, and that's your life, and you get paid for it, and that's what everybody. This is like a new industry, so that's my goal. That's what I'm working on. And I think the focus for me is gonna be for my whole website is Rome. Rome has amazing history because all of the history of Rome is documented from the beginning till the end, over like 10,000 pages, because most of it is from a book called The Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire by Edward Gibbon, which covers Rome from like 90. He kind of jumps around, but I think he covers stuff going on from like the year 100 until 1500. So, and then there's another book, Livy, which is from the beginning, 756 BC until like 100 BC, and then you have a whole bunch of other books in between, from 100 BC to 100 AD. So you have like, and the decline and fall of the Roman Empire is 8,000 pages, over 8,000 pages. And so he describes everything, and he talks about it like somebody nowadays would. In fact, it was really a revolutionary book because he talked so much. People thought Christians got offended because he was being too scientific with the way he was describing how Christianity grew and developed and the philosophies of it and stuff. So he talks about the cause and effects of everything, and so it gave me the idea that you could take everything that happened, because there's so much information that happened in Rome, like any and everything happened in Rome, and then you could define the cause and effects from it, and then you could plug it into today's world, and even into the future. And so you could treat Rome, the history of Rome, like a blueprint for society, and reference stuff that happened back there a lot. People like to reference stuff that happened, politically, things that happened like 20 years ago or whatever. But why not just reference all of history? And it actually literally is a blueprint of our society, because it's what we came out of. Every society in the world basically came out of Rome. When I was in Chile, I was constantly kind of impressed with how similar Chilean culture is to American. They have Halloween and Christmas and Christianity and the Christmas tree and all of the same traditions. It's like it sprung from the same mother society, and that's Rome, because Chileans came from Spain, which came from Rome, and America came from England, which came from Rome. So, but also on like literally for ourselves, if you believe in reincarnation. All the little motions that we have today come from our lives in Rome, and so like when people have, like Donald Trump, people have these like feelings of wanting to be a tyrant. Maybe it's because he was a tyrant in a past life, and so to connect it, feelings you have now with actual coming from actual events that happened in the past that you know about, you can piece everything together and understand the world and have a whole lot to talk about. And backed up with all the amazing evidence you see from it with Google Earth. So that's what I was doing before, is mapping out ancient tribes and cities and languages and stuff, all that stuff in Europe. I'm not done, but you can actually go to my website. Maybe I'll do a screen capture tour of my website. I'll probably do that pretty soon. I don't know if I'll do it for this video, but just a tour of where you can download KMZ files. I have the KMZ files, the big files on the top that I always upload, because it's a place where I back up my information. So yeah, you can just download all that stuff I'm talking about, all the tribes. I've got so many crazy ideas, and the way I am. See, the reason I want to go another year is because the way that I am. If I have an idea of something that I want to do, like before, like 10 years ago or whatever, when I was first starting my website, I'd have like a wild idea, and I'd be like, oh, that'd be something that'd be cool to do, but one day or whatever, But now when I have an idea, I'm like, okay, that's something cool that I want to plug into my website that'll be done next year. So maybe there's some things that I've thought of, Google Earth related things that I haven't even thought of yet that I'll do. So that's why I'm giving myself another year. There's some things that I'll probably skip that I want to do, that I won't do within the next year. Like maybe fixing my life journal writing and stuff that take a while. But and the timeline, I don't think I'll work on that. But yeah. So did I just lose my train of thought? So Yeah, so yeah, so one idea, one cool thing that I want to do is see, one goal of my website is to connect history with like reality, the past with the present. So when somebody says um, he gave him a kingdom that's big enough for him to ride his horse around in one day, you would know about how big of a kingdom that is, Or if you're listening to the Bible and King was some King Menelaus gives Joseph a tract of land, you have an idea, of how far away that is and how big it is and how big the kingdom is. And not just that, but you actually know exactly how big it is because you've seen it on Google Earth and you can click on it on your cell phone. I think I'll show how you can get that stuff on your cell phone, on my website on your cell phone. Because all you have to do is hit the file and it takes you there on the cell phone. It's really cool. The movies, it shows the lines. Not always, though. I think it has to have been there for a little bit until this lines appear. But yeah, it's really cool. And yeah, so to get an idea of what size different tribes and languages are, and then because then you can get an idea of like what caused that. Like that would be really cool to be able to know two languages, like Italian and French, and then know the exact differences between them, and then know, um, or actually even beyond that, like different dialects within Italy. Like see one language, the Umbrians, and then the Oscans. I don't know if those are different languages, but two different language groups, and then get in there and look at the land and see what made those, and then imagine exactly the differences between the languages, and then know like why they're different, and then plug in and understand how much people are actually traveling around to have such that different difference of languages within that small of area. So um, yeah, all the stuff having to do with that. So and um, because it's interesting if you travel around, like how could there be different languages? But then it's only a small percentage of the people were actually doing that. Most of the other people were busy working and just staying put. So, but you can still get around about as quickly today as you could in the past like today on a bike as you could in the past with a horse. And so I wanted to plug in like today's bicycle traveling with like as the modern day horse travel of the past, because they would do trips in the past, and also with the running. The running people do in the past, or the running people do now. Um, so, like, if you have I had an idea that if you get a bunch of the ancient tribes of France, then within each of the tribes you could have a bike ride that goes around the periphery of that um, tribe, and then do a Google Earth video showing around it. I want to do Google Earth videos. I have a Google Earth channel. I think I have Trips Around Colorado channel, but I'd like to make a channel called Google Earth Videos, because I could put like thousands of videos on it. Because you just record a video, the Google Earth video, but you activate different things in the background that you see as you're doing it. So you could do like a tour of the ancient Arveni tribe in France, and you're going around the bike ride around the edge of it, and in the background you see the borderline of the tribe and all the towns in the tribe. And then in the bike ride, you see all the different sprints in the bike ride and the climbs and stuff, and with the all the information for all of it on Google Earth. And so people who ride bikes will then get a really good idea of how big tribes are. And so when you're listening to these historical books and this tribe talked to this tribe and he went here and we marched this far, you have exactly the idea of what's going on, of how big it is. And so, but yeah, but I guess a long part of that is me just mapping out everything on Google Earth, because nobody's done it. Like you can't And when you go to websites, it doesn't seem like people even understand the concept, because you go to websites and people use other programs like GPX and open up, look at satellite view of on your website of what you're talking about. You can't zoom in and out, and it's like, why not just have the link to it on Google Earth, and then you can look at it there. And if you want to do the trip, have everything on Google Earth, like only Google Earth. People are trying to do all these other things, and so, anyways, I hope nobody's figured that out by the time I come out, because that would suck if I'm like, hey, look at this. And they're like, what? We already have it over here. But anyway, I can use my language, Rainbow Crystallian, to just jam pack it. I think I can jam pack it in really well. But but yeah, I mean, because that's the main reason that I built this stuff. It's because I have to see it. So if somebody else had done it, I could have just looked at it on there, or translated from what they made onto my own language, the way that I do it. But yeah, it's fun. I feel like I'm breaking uncharted territory. But yeah, today I'm doing ski resorts, and I'm like getting to know the mountains. It's really trippy. I mean, Google Earth these days is so good. The resolution. It's as though you're flying. I had an idea that like the life of aliens, that fly around with their spaceships. You know how they say when people see flying saucers, like the flying saucer is just zoomed in and then zoomed out really fast instantaneously and zoomed all around. It's kind of like somebody on Google Earth, like let me zoom in, zoom out, zoom in. Zoom. So that's what the life of an alien in a spaceship is. It's basically the life of a dude and doing Google Earth on their computer, man. It's the same way. Which is a pretty interesting life. So that's what I'm up to now. Until yesterday, I was building Boulder again. I was doing all the different photo perches in Boulder. I counted 1,260 photos that I got of Boulder. Some of those were from other places, but yeah, I want to do all of Boulder, the actual locations from like 1860 all the way up to the 70s. And but then I moved over to the ski resort because I got stuck. Because these two hotels, the Brainerd Hotel and the Boulder House, were like overlapping. I was like, wait, which is which? So I just moved over to the ski resorts. And so, yeah. And then I got the idea today to do that, like all the hot springs in Colorado, like you trace the whole trip, not just the location of the hot spring, but all the information of how to get there and everything, and how long, because if you trace something on Google Earth along a trip, like all you have to do is right click and it shows elevation profile, and it shows the whole elevation profile, everything, like average elevation gain, total elevation gain, average steepness, highest point, lowest point, and then you see the whole graph. It's really cool. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing now. So I guess that'd be cool to just consistently do videos. I got to that point. I was working on my website, and I was like, if I do videos or do another project on my website, it's kind of has a relate to do if I have either if I get burnt out on it or if I feel like a sense of accomplishment. I was kind of starting, I guess, to feel enough of a sense of accomplishment with my website, moving things along and working things and then giving myself the other year. I was like, all right, well, let's just do videos. And yeah, there's definitely a lot to talk about now. I have a lot to talk about. But is there anything else to say? I guess I'll have more time to plug this in and stuff since I won't be working. I don't think I'm gonna work this winter because I owed a bunch of money, but I managed to get my mom to loan me $5,000 and get me out of credit card debt. So credit card debt I was paying a lot on the interest, is like 14%, because she sold her house, her mother's house in Virginia, to her brother for cash. So she just loaned that cash to me, and I think I'll see if I can borrow another $1,000 this winter. I just don't want to work. I'm like locked into this, and then I'll just sell my car wherever I can. I have an ad for it on the Samba, but people haven't been calling me. People did for the beginning, but then I just had to do some fix-it-ups, and they stopped calling me. And then I started getting like all these spam calls, and so I can't even answer most of the time because it's always spam. It's crazy. You get like 12 a day. It's unbelievable. And then you plug them in, fraud, and you look at it, and then they finally give, and then they start calling me again. Anyway, so, I forgot to smoke weed. So I guess that's my video for now. Maybe, you know what? This is the only video that I'll do today, and then tomorrow I'll be like, you know what? I did that video yesterday, and I said I'm doing videos again. So let's do another video. You know, and maybe I'll do like a maybe I'll get going on living in Boulder vlog again, where I talk just for a little bit. This. And then it's only a minute, bong, and then I upload it, and then I do other videos where I talk about stuff. So yeah, but I think that's enough for now. I just wanted to do a video. Oh my God, 25 minutes. See, I just keep talking on and on and on. Download the stuff on my Google Earth. It's pretty cool, man. Like, I mean, it's not done, but I don't know. Okay, peace out.